Hi, I'm Bet from Bet's Makes, and today we're going to make a foiled flower gift box. Now here's an example of the box with a hummingbird on it. This is using the foil quill tool for your Cricut. So this box is really simple to make. It opens up. You can have a design in the center or not, but this is exactly what we're going to make today. And I will make something a little different. We're going to put a flower on the front. Now just before we get going, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. So in Design Space, what we really want to do here is find a material that we're going to use. And I've decided that I am going to have white on the exterior and a design on the inside. So I have a pad of, it's a paper block from Michael's that has a lot of design papers. So this is one that I'm going to use. This will go on the inside of the card. And of course on the back it's plain white, so I can draw all of my designs. And that way I can use a one-sided piece of cardstock and still make a beautiful box at the same time. Now the other things you're going to need just a little bit of glue. And of course you're going to need a foil quill tool for your Cricut and a fine tip cut blade. Now you can do this both on the Explorer Air 2 and on the Maker. Unfortunately, it's a little bit wide for the Joy, but you can give it a try. So let's get started here. We need to upload a couple of files to get going here. Now the first file is a foil gift box with hummingbird. So that's one you're going to need. And the next one is called a mandala flower. Now I will provide both of those for you in my resource library, and I will give you what the resource number is in the description below, so you'll be able to get those files for yourself to get going on this. So let's click on both of these. Let's insert those images. Now the mandala is going to come in really huge, and you'll notice that the box has already come in sized, and you already have the score lines all marked out for you because that's the way I pushed it in. I'm just going to move this mandala out of the way for a second. But what we don't want in this is the hummingbird, because we're not going to use that. So I'm just going to turn the little eyeballs off on the hummingbird so it disappears. But what we need to do with this mandala now is size it so that it's going to fit on top of this area of the box. Now we'll notice that it goes from let's say 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 inches wide. So let's go up to the size here. And the width right now is 27. We just want to make it 4 inches. And let's see if that fits on the box. We'll have to just move this over, get it into the center. This has to come to the front. So we'll move it to the front. And 4 inches is a bit too big, so let's come back up here and let's size it to 3 inches. That looks a little more reasonable. Now we want to center it as best as possible here. Because we're going to make this into a foil design and it's going to print on here with your Cricut, you want to make sure that you have it pretty well centered where it's going to go. That looks pretty good. It's close to the edges, but I don't think that's going to be an issue. Now, while I have the flower selected, you have to come up here to your line type. And instead of cut, we're going to come down here to foil, and we're going with our fine tip for this project. Now the last thing I have to do is select everything here. Make sure everything's selected in the layers panel, and I'm going to click on attach. Now you'll notice this only uses one piece of paper, so we're good to go with the one sheet that I've chosen. So let's save this, and we'll call this flower gift box. And I'm going to call it foiled. Looks good. We'll just save it. Now the next step is we're going to make it, and there's a couple of steps that we're going to do here, and that will involve our camera. And so that you can see what's going to go on with the mats. So right now everything looks really good. It's telling us it's going to score first, then it's going to foil, and then it's going to cut. So we are not going to apply the foil to this design until we are ready to do that. So let's click on continue. We're going to pick on our medium cardstock, and you'll notice that it has a single scoring. So I'll be right back, and I'm going to have the camera focused on my Cricut machine so you can see what's happening as we go on. So here you can see my machine, and I have the scoring tip inside here. It is ready to go. It is flashing, so you'll just have to bear with me for a second. I am going to put my paper in. Now remember, I had said I'm going to put the white on the outside, and you'll see here that I have the design on the back side, so it's a little bit different from what you're used to doing. So we are ready to load our paper. Now it's ready for the next step here, and if you can see this, I'll just shine it a bit, you'll see the outline right here of where the flower is going to go. So this is the area where I want to tape down my foil in order to have it work here. Now the other piece is I have the foil blade, and if I push this in, you'll see that there is one line here. That means it's the fine tip blade. The other ones will have 2 and 3 lines on them, but this one has one because it's fine tipped. So I'm going to start by just replacing my blade here, and then I am going to tape my foil to this area. I'll be right back. Alright, here we are. I have put the foil down as best I can here and taped it over top. I actually cut a piece just slightly larger here so that we can get the whole thing in place. Do not unload the mat when you're doing this. Have everything ready to go. And this is going to take a little bit of a process here as it does all of the lines. But as you can see, it does do a lot of work here. So now it has finished with doing this part of it. You'll notice one thing I did do is I moved these wheels out of the way so it didn't make a mark on the foil, and that's going to be really important for you as well. So our next step is you're going to remove the foil, change your blade, and then cut the rest. So now, once we've got that done, we'll come over and I'll show you how to put it together. So now it's time to put this together, and what I used were these foil transfer sheets from Cricut, and once you open these up there are a number of sheets inside, and then there are the sticky tapes that you need to use on the outside. But remember, don't put the tape on the part where it's going to make the design, such as here, so you want to try and get your tape around the outside. And this is the result of the one we did. This is one I had done before, and this is the box we're going to put together. Now, those foil transfer sheets, they come in different colors. These are some sampler packs that I had ordered, and I just love the colors. You can get them in larger sheets as well. This is the one that came with the tool. We have a silver and a gold, and you can see the tape pieces here. So we don't need these any longer. I'll put those out of the way. Scissors just in case. Now, all we're going to do is take off the excess here. And I want to bend my mat so that I'm actually peeling the item off the mat, and the reason is that way it does not curl. Now I have a little toolbox here that I keep handy with all my tools, and I'm going to take out my scraper because you'll see there are lots of different score lines here. Now, the interesting thing here is what we want is we want this to be the inside of the box, and we want our flower to be on the outside. So we know the flower is going on the outside. So I'm just going to give it a little squeeze here. Just be careful, I don't want to hit the foil. And these are going to be the tabs that fold into the box. I'll just gently fold those for now. I'm going to take a little bit of folding here. I like to do all my folds ahead of time, just in case I get into an issue with glue. Alright, the next part is we have a number of flaps. The ones with the rounded corners are going to be the ones that are on the lid, that hold the lid into place, as you see here. There's 5 of them, 2 here and 3 up here on the lid, and the rest of them will be folded like this so we can glue it to the inside. So let's get everything folded up, get those score lines. Going to fold those in place. These are the 2 ones on the bottom. Alright, now the important part are these flaps. These are going to be the places where we start to glue. So I want everything folded before we get going on this project. Okay, everything is folded. Now the next part is very easy. We're going to glue these pieces together. So we're going to glue them one at a time, and we're going to have to hold them in place while they dry. For this one, I am going to use a pH neutral on the material here, and you don't have to put a lot of glue, but you need to make sure everything is in place. Just want to make sure my glue will flow. And I'm going to do them one at a time, and the reason I want to do them one at a time is I want to make sure that they're going to stick in place. Get this one. Want to line them up as best as possible. Okay, there we have glued the pieces together. Now these are just the parts that hold the inner part of the box together. You don't have to glue those by any means, as you can see in this other one. It just closes right down. All of the tabs will go to the inside, so you just close it into place. And there we have this beautiful box with this gorgeous flower on it. Isn't it incredible? Well, there we have it, a beautiful foiled gift box, and this is how it's turned out. Isn't that the most gorgeous thing you have ever seen? What a beautiful flower. And we used one type of foil on this, and we used the fine tip for the foiling. I'm just in love with this. This is so incredible. I hope you had a lot of fun putting this together. And one thing just before you go, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, and happy crafting.